Hello and welcome to the Mighty Electronic Box for the week of the 13th of January 2014. Welcome to the future.
Yay.
Yes.
Is this episode 99?
I believe this is episode 99. I will just quickly double check, but that would make sense.
That's cool.
We never did our off-topic episode.
Nope.
We should do that.
Yeah, one day. One day in the far-flung future. So how was Christmas and shit for you guys? I think our Game of the Year podcast was after Christmas, but how has
just
the rest of that been?
Good.
Mine was pretty awesome. I was still on holiday until like the 2nd of January, so...
I was on holiday to the 2nd as well.
Had a nice long break.
Yeah, well, only had a week, but that's long enough.
Yeah, I had 4 weeks off over
that's
Christmas, which was
that must be nice. Fucking dick.
yeah, and I didn't really have any exams or anything going back.
I had shit.
I had one exam today, but it was a DOS. So,
man, thinking about it, if I could like have my time again, I'd be a fucking teacher.
Yeah.
Because Jesus Christ, it's no joke the amount of time you get off as a teacher.
Yeah.
I guess.
Someone at my job who joined at the same time as me used to be a teacher, and she said like she was like on the verge of tears when she realised like, oh shit, I've actually like I don't get like 3 weeks off or whatever for Christmas.
It's not just that though, man. Like they get half term, they get they get fucking summer, they get like 6 weeks.
Yeah,
that's paid.
I was like, oh, but you do work like during the holidays and stuff. She was like, not really. So
no, it's bullshit. That was always bullshit. It always used to piss me off in school, like when teachers would complain about fucking their job.
Yeah,
really? Like you're
it's
on,
it is.
Like you're on really good money, despite what you want us to believe. Like get the fuck out of here. Like you get more holidays in like the first half of a year than like any other job does for an entire year. Like, shut the fuck up.
I think like probably the first year of teaching is probably quite hard because you have like your lessons down and everything. But once you nail that shit, like surely they can't be that much work.
Once you kind of find your groove and
because you can just recycle that shit year on year.
Yeah,
like nothing changes in education.
Yeah, like maths doesn't change. Like
it's not usually.
You know, it is what it is.
For the record, this is actually episode 100, so get hype.
Get hype. So we should just do our off-topic of episode. Fuck game news.
I mean, did you guys play any games? Because I didn't.
I did, yeah. I played quite a bit this week.
Alright, we'll talk a bit about games, but nothing happened in news this week. So don't get excited for a massive news section, and we have no emails. So this episode might get a bit weird towards the end.
I can bring up my topics. I actually wrote down topics for the off-topic episode.
That is brilliant. Are they just loads of really awkward questions about like which would you prefer, a goat's leg or a penis made of cheese?
No, but we can have that conversation.
All right, cool.
Do you mean like a goat's leg instead of your penis? Like, would you have a goat's leg where it would be?
No, just one of your legs is a goat leg.
Oh, okay. I think I'd take that over the
penis made of cheese.
Yeah, because you can't really use that. Like that's not going to do anything, is it?
Yeah, but at least you could hide it. Hide your shame. Like, goat's leg, you can't really be like, yep, that's normal.
Yeah, true, but I mean, like, if you have a dick made of cheese, you essentially don't have a dick. Like, that's rough. Like, that is... Yeah, man. I'll take the fucking leg any day.
Awesome stuff.
That's a no-brainer right there.
Alright, well, you said you played games this week, Joe, so why don't you...
I did actually play games this week. I'm surprised. I'm shocked myself. I spent a lot of time this week with my Vita, actually. Played a lot of Vita games. I did also get Injustice on PC. Can talk a little bit about that, really. That's kind of like your standard PC over console thing. Like, it looks a lot better, yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. The only downside to it on PC is that the online is fucked, man. Not in the sense that it's really bad, it's just really, really unstable and really random. Like, there's a guy that I know, I can't remember from whereabouts in Europe he's from, but like, basically he's a hell of a lot closer to me than America is in terms of, miles. And I was able to play a guy from America and have like pretty much a flawless connection with him. It was unreal how good it was. And online, as far as I know, is like region blocked on PSN. I don't think it is on Xbox, but like you can't even play people from like America on PSN. If you have them on your friends list on Steam, you can simply just add them to the game. And yet the guy from Europe I play with, it's fucking terrible. Like, I'm not sure if his connection is just ass, and like maybe that's why. The guy I played from the US has like as good internet as me. Like, he has really, really fast internet. So it could just be a simple case of that. But just like joining rooms and stuff is just a nightmare. Like, it can take like half an hour to join a room, and then when you finally get in, you play like one game, and then it desyncs, and you have to go through it all over again to do that. It's just a huge pain in the arse. But other than that, like, it is really solid on PC, and it looks just fucking unbelievable. So it's been a while since I've actually played a PC game and like this was kind of what reminded me of it. I was like, yeah, PC games do look a fucking lot better. They really do. Like, it's night and day almost, like, that comparison. It's so like that so downplayed. Like, oh, it's not that big a deal. It really is. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty solid. Like, if you want to play that on PC. I wouldn't say it's the best version to get just because of how, you know, unreliable the online is, and even though on consoles obviously it doesn't look as good, etc., etc., like the online on consoles is pretty solid, so not the best version to get. But yeah, move on to Vita stuff. I got quite a few Vita games. I did get Tearaway as recommended, and that game is damn good.
Yep.
That's a damn good game, and holy crap, like, if I can't remember what we gave best visuals to, but it better best.
I think it was Tearaway.
Because if we didn't, we fucked up. Yeah, that game looks incredible. Like, it just has such a good visual style to it. It looks unbelievable. Looks really, really good. It plays really well too. Like, I really like it's not just kind of a, you know, good looking game. Like the platforming stuff in it. They do some I think they do some really interesting things with the Vita's capability.
Yeah.
Like the combat, for lack of a better word, like in some places, like you can just be on like a particular part of the ground, and like the part where you can like tap the back of the screen, and like a finger kind of pops through, and you have to like move it around to hit enemies, which is really cool. It just looks awesome. And that has like it's got like all the face buttons on the back, and like that's kind of how you know where to like aim your finger, because the only other times I've used the back touch stuff, it's really like imprecise where it's going to register your input, whereas with that it's like kind of got like a bit of the screen is clearly cut out. It's like, this is where you need to, you know, aim on the back of the screen, which is nice. But yeah, like, not much else to say about that at the moment. I do really like the charm it has. Like, I think it has a lot of charm. It really does. The only downside to it is that it really, really shows up just how shit that camera is on the Vita.
Yeah, that camera's not great.
And that thing is terrible. It really is. Like, you don't like looking at yourself, and it's like, man, this makes me look fucking ugly, because it's like like 10 pixels or something.
Yeah, it's
like 0.3, isn't it? It's like 300,000 pixels.
Yeah,
that camera.
It's not great.
Really, really.
Yeah, even
res.
the back one's not great either. I don't think.
I think the back one's at least like 1 point something.
Yeah, the back one's better, but it's not.
The back one
not
is at least a little bit better.
It's not up to the standards of like the sort of cameras you see on mobile devices nowadays.
I mean, that got me thinking about that. Like, I'm trying to think in all likelihood, when the Vita was kind of in its early stages of development, surely they could have put a better camera in it. Like, I mean, phone cameras have been at least decent for a good amount of time.
Yeah.
And like, it's only, I suppose, relatively recent that they've gotten like really fucking good.
Yeah.
Still, they could have put something a little bit better in that thing.
Yeah, I guess it's not really one of the Vita's like primary features. Like,
nah, I mean, not at all. It's just one of those things. Like, it'd be like, because I think they use it's one of the few examples of like, it uses all the Vita's tricks, like, and it uses them. Yeah. It uses them well. The touchscreen stuff. Like, the more I play the Vita, to be honest, the more like using that touchscreen instead of like, it kind of replaces like, you know, X in a lot of games. Like, you can use either or, like just tapping the screen. So like, yep, okay, whatever. Like, just keep tapping the screen.
It's really useful for just basic UI stuff. Like,
yeah, it's really good.
That game is the showcase, I guess, for what the Vita can do.
Yeah, it is really good. It's if you have a Vita, definitely check that out.
Yeah.
Also played Gravity Rush on the Vita.
Ooh, I've also played that.
That is really good. I really like that game.
Yeah, that game is like not at all what I expected.
No, I wasn't really sure what to make of it. Like when I was looking at Vita game, I was looking at Tearaway actually. That was kind of on the recommended list on Amazon.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's this all about? And I looked on it, and of course, like the Amazon reviews are the typical garbage. And I was like looking around on like the internet. I couldn't really find anything out about it. It's like, what is this game? Like, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna buy it and see what it's like. It is pretty hard to describe. I will say that it is a fairly tricky game to, if you were gonna say what kind of game is this, like, oh, it's a whatever
3D puzzle platformer.
Yeah, but like it's kind of got like some action elements in there too,
some
like
light combat stuff
and
like open world stuff as well.
Yeah, some open world stuff in there as well. Like it's and I quite like the only thing that like really put me off right at the beginning. I don't know if you agree, John, but like the very beginning of that game, that guy is like, "Oh, save my kid," blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then like him and his kid are just total dicks to you the whole fucking time.
I actually thought that was pretty funny.
Like I hated that. I was like,
yeah,
why am I helping?
I was like, fuck those people. But yeah, I actually thought that bit was pretty funny.
But yeah, that is cool. I think the main character, like it's weird. Like they're not voice acted, but like the actual writing is pretty funny.
Yeah, I like this stuff like with the comic book stuff like between.
Oh, I love
chapters.
that. Yeah, I think that's another great showcase for like the touch screen is kind of like you can just
and
swipe
like
the
you can like
stuff.
move the Vita around to like tilt and stuff. Which I thought was cool.
That stuff's awesome, and I really like that game. And the action stuff as well is handled surprisingly well.
Yeah.
The movement, like one of the criticisms I did see was like, oh, the movement's impossible to get around, which is just, you're a fucking moron. Like it takes like, once it's first introduced to you, it is a little bit like, whoa, wait, what?
Yeah.
What do I do?
Yeah.
And then you just realize it's, kind of like hit a button to accelerate, hit a button to focus, and then boom. Like you can, like moving around in that game is fucking awesome.
Yeah, once you get used to, like, I thought it was gonna be like super limited, like you can jump from wall to wall, but it's like it's almost just like flying.
Yeah, you can pretty much just fly. Like you pretty much like take yourself out of gravity, aim gravity at like a building over there, and just hit go, and you just go for that building. It's fucking awesome. And like the gravity stuff in combat is actually pretty interesting. Like that kind of dive kick move you've got is fucking cool and really, really good to do, and a pretty clever use of like the gravity shifting thing.
That game. I don't know what I really expected from that game, but it certainly wasn't like an open world thing like that. It's, that's sort of my currently playing thing on the Vita.
Yeah, me too. That kind of overtook Tearaway for me, to be honest. Like I started playing Tearaway and then started playing that. And like I guess like there's just a bit more like mechanical stuff in Gravity Rush really. But yeah, I really like that. I really like I love the visual style. It's got a great look to it. And the writing, it's really hard to kind of sell the writing because it is just stuff you read, but the writing is pretty clever. I really like that how they handle like your characters like inner thoughts are just like in simple brackets, because like there's some pretty good stuff. I thought there was some funny dialogue stuff in there when like she starts talking to people, and like it will say her thoughts in the background, and then it'll actually say what she says to the character, and it's pretty cool. So yeah, I think that's really good. I don't get the I did like that didn't seem to have a very favorable opinion. I looked it up.
I don't know. That game sort of like I knew it existed, but it seemed like it just snuck under the radar in terms of like coverage.
I suppose Vita games aren't lighting the world. The Vita's not lighting the world on fire. So I mean,
but I mean, I think there's a sequel in the works, maybe. Yeah. There's definitely a sequel. So
that seems cool. Yes, I mean that's pretty much that. I haven't got like really far into the story stuff yet, but it's definitely more to it than I thought. Wasn't expecting like that kind of game when I went into that. What else? I also played Injustice on Vita. I got the Vita version of Injustice because got to have that. That's in a lot of ways kind of disappointing. I only really got it because of like it enables me to test stuff like I don't have to be at home if I want to test whatever. It's a very, very niche reason that I bought it. But yeah, like performance wise, it's just the frame rate's really fucking bad. And in a fighting game, that's pretty important. The plus side to it is that like if you are just testing stuff, it doesn't seem to actually alter the properties of moves. So like I was testing, like you go into training mode and test stuff, like stuff that's -10 is actually -10. Like the frame rate doesn't fuck up stuff like that, but like just playing the actual game, like the frame rate just dies in certain points. Like certain stages are really, really bad for the frame rate. Stages that have got a lot of stuff going on in the background, like that game's like really big on like stuff happening in the background of stages. And those stages just cause horrible frame rate issues.
Yeah.
Like it's really, really bad. It's disappointing for me because like the MK version, the MK on Vita was really solid. Like that was a really, really solid port. The Injustice definitely looks a little bit better. It looks a little bit smoother. MK was very blocky on the Vita, but like for me, the important thing was that it played how I wanted it to play. Like it was, you know, there was virtually no adjustment period going from like MK on a PS2 pad to MK on the Vita. I was like, oh, I need to, you know, do things differently or something. But like, yeah, Injustice on the Vita, like if you want to kind of have that as your version, definitely wouldn't recommend it. Like it's the frame rate's too big of an issue. Unless you are playing that game, you know, seriously, and you just want, you want to have that luxury of testing shit on the move, then, you know, wait for it to get cheap. What else did I play on the Vita? I also played Age of Zombies on the Vita, and that game is fucking cool. That game, I thought it was like a new Vita release, but I think it was out on PSN originally.
2 seconds. I'm gonna have to stop that noise.
Okay, that sounds like a Hoover. What is that noise?
No idea.
Yeah, that's definitely a Hoover. Someone's hoovering.
Hoover sound effects. Definitely a good addition.
I can't be asked to edit this shit.
This Hoover section, new section of the podcast.
Yeah, man, Hoovers are... Let's talk about Hoovers.
Alright, what's your favourite Hoover?
Ones that work. That's not...
So none of them then?
None of them, yeah, because none of them fucking work.
I hate carpet. I fucking hate
I hate carpet
with
too.
vengeance. It's the worst thing in the world.
I have carpet like upstairs, and like downstairs now is just laminate floor, and oh man, it's so much better.
This game is fantastic.
John,
have you heard of cat lateral damage?
No.
What?
Cat lateral damage.
No.
It's a Unity game where you play as a cat and you have to knock shit on the floor. It's a first-person cat game, and all you can do is swipe your paws at shit, and you just knock shit on the floor.
That sounds pretty interesting.
It's amazing.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
Okay. Age of Zombies.
Age of Zombies, yeah. After the Hoover segment. Yeah, I thought this was a Vita release. I think it came out like 2012 on Vita, but apparently it's been out for fucking years on PSN, which really shows how crappy PSN used to be for letting you know what's on it, and still is in a lot of ways, but still. Yeah, that's just a dual joystick shooter, but with zombies. If you've played I Made a Game with Zombies in it,
yeah.
The best soundtrack ever to any game, just ever.
It's pretty close.
Pretty damn good. But yeah, if you ever wondered like what that would be as a game, this is pretty much it. There's not much to say about it. But like it's got some really good humor to it. I think that's the thing that like kind of stops it from being like just a dual joystick shooter, like just another one of those games. Yeah, like the humor stuff is pretty funny. It's like all the worst parts of like game stuff, just like, but taken on the nose, like really, really self-aware of how stupid it is. And it plays really well too. There is some pretty interesting stuff in there from that genre's perspective. Like your basic kind of weapon is just like your regular pea shooter, and it's kind of shitty. Like the bigger, like the longer you're alive in a level, really, like it'll start to spawn in like power-up weapons like shotguns and flamethrowers and chainsaws and shit. And you can get some like kind of additional buffs, one of which is a hoverboard, which is pretty damn good. It makes you can just move ridiculously fast. When you have the hoverboard and the chainsaw, that's just one of the best like minutes of gaming you'll ever have, because it's so fucking cool. And it's kind of stories, not really that kind of important, but it sets up like some doctors like created some time travel shit, and like that's kind of how it sets up all the levels. Like you travel back in time through like various periods, like Egypt, Japan, the Wild West, the future, dinosaurs. You go back to like dinosaur territory, but of course it's all zombies. So that's fucking awesome. One of the bosses is a zombie T-Rex.
That seems dangerous.
Zombie T-Rex. I don't know how dangerous that would be though, because pretty dumb. But there's really not much to say about that game. If you like dual joystick shooters and you like zombies, if you don't like that game, I don't know what to tell you. Like I don't know what to tell you. If you don't like that game, if you like those two other things, and that game doesn't do it for you, then you need help, my friend.
Mm.
You definitely need help. What else did I play? I just did play a few PC games. I did play a little bit of Gunpoint.
Yes,
Hell yeah.
Me too, actually. That's one of the few things I have played.
That has fallen victim to being on something that's not a handheld at the moment. I really want to play more of that game.
Oh man, that game would be awesome on the Vita.
Yeah, I was thinking that, like when I was playing, like I've been playing my Vita just a shitload this past couple of weeks, and I remember thinking, I was like, God, I would play the shit out of Gunpoint if that was on the Vita, because I started playing it and I really like what it does. Like I think it does some clever stuff, but I don't want to just sit at my PC and play that game.
Yeah.
It's like it's not a knock on the game. It's just sort of it's more of a reflection of like my lifestyle at the moment than the game. I think the game is awesome, but I'm not going to sit at my PC and play that game. Like I know I'm not. I'm just not going to do it. Like I want that game on a handheld so I can play it on the bus or play it, while I'm out or doing some shit. It sucks because there's a lot of games that are kind of fallen victim to that recently. Rayman Legends is one of them. I have that on PC, and I've played like maybe an hour of it. I'm probably just going to buy the Vita version because
I've been playing the Vita version.
Even though that means buying it twice, like for a game like that, I don't care because like
I don't know if the Vita version is slightly different.
I think there are. I know there were some differences between Rayman Origins on like the regular.
Yeah, it's like I think it's mainly to do with like because you know how there's like the second. God, what's he called? Murphy. I think that's the little dude who you can control by touching the screen. Like I think like he has like separate levels now where you're just controlling him, trying to get a character through the level, as opposed to like controlling the characters on the screen and then using the touch to like do other stuff. But I mean, it seems like it still seems like a Rayman game.
Yeah, I mean, like I imagine like the platforming stuff.
It's all the same.
That's one of the things. Like I think with the Vita, you don't lose anything in the controls.
Yeah, and it still looks good because it's that sort of art style.
Yeah,
like it's not
like the Vita's
graphical
screen
powerhouse.
Is really good too, though.
Yeah,
like, stuff looks really good on that screen. But yeah, like that's something that like more and more I think I'll find myself doing in the future. It's like if there's like if the console version like isn't that much different, I'll probably just get the Vita version. So, it's weird. Like I'm really glad I got a Vita. I was kind of on the fence for a while, like whether I should buy one. And like one of those things, like now that I have one, it's like damn, this thing's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
use it all the time. What else did I did play a bit of Dark Souls as well while I was when I was off on holiday.
Interesting.
I got it on the PC version. I think was on sale. It was like I think it was like £4 or something on Steam.
Yeah, the Steam sale went super cheap on that one.
Yeah, I think I've only played like an hour of it. It's just one of those games that, like, I'm not big on the way it plays. That was one of my biggest things about Demon Souls, and it's kind of that genre in general. Like, it's very slow. I know that's the whole point, but I can see the mountain that game is, and I just can't be arsed. I feel like that's been my problem for like the past fucking year with a lot of games. Like if I know that I'm gonna have to put like a lot of time into it, I just can't be bothered. It's like nah, I haven't got the time for that right now. But I don't know. It did remind me a lot of Demon Souls early on, like just the way it played and that. What's with that first fucking boss, man?
The Asylum Demon.
Yeah, he's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That was that was kind of a letdown for me, actually, thinking about it. Like when I've like fought him, killed him, felt pretty badass. I was like, yeah, fuck you. And then you go to the next bit. It's like, I'll go find these bells, and then you fight these like shitty skeleton dudes. It's like, dude, what happened? Like, I just killed a huge fucking troll. Like, in a part of the game where you know that's there to kill you. Like, you know, I just killed this fucking troll, man. Like, did you see this thing I just killed? Did you see this thing? And now I'm fighting these fucking scrubs.
Yeah.
Like, that was, I don't know, it started really strong. I was really into that, like, the first hour, and then just kind of, It's just, I don't know. It's just one of those games. I wish there was more games like that around when I had the time for them.
Yeah, that's
you know
definitely a time investment sort of game.
It's definitely a time investment, and like lately meaning the past couple of years, I just haven't had the time to put it into, and it annoys me because I know I'm missing out on some great games. Like, I'm pretty confident that once I kind of got over the hill, Demon's Souls, that series would be right up my street, but it's just finding that time sink of, you know, I really need to sit down with this game, you know, all day, every day for like, you know, a good chunk of time probably to really kind of get into it and like really let it get its hooks in me. And just having that block of time just, you know, it's just not there anymore, which sucks. But yeah, I enjoyed what I played of it. Just one of those games that is going to have to go on my list of ones that I need to play more of.
Yeah.
So, at some point in the future.
Yeah, I'm really glad I started playing that before I finished uni, because that would have been.
I'm trying to think of the last game that really did that for me. It's been a fucking long time. It's been a really long time.
Yeah.
But what else did I play? I played something else. What was it? It was on PS3. Oh yeah, I also played Remember Me. That was the last game I played.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not feeling that.
No.
I'll admit, not feeling that at the moment. Played it for maybe, I don't know, an hour.
Yeah.
Right off the bat. I like the kind of premise to it. I think it's got a really good setup, and I really like the kind of visuals. I really like the way they've created that world. I think it looks really awesome, but I don't know, the game just isn't that fun. Like, it's, for me, I didn't find it very fun to play. Like, the combat is very serviceable. Like, it is Batman-esque, but it's like nowhere near the kind of fidelity that system gives you. And it might get better as you go on. I'm very early on in the combat stuff, but I definitely didn't feel as smooth. And like the main, like, you know, the very first memory kind of segment that you get to, I thought that was awesome, but I think it's handled very badly in terms of like how you do it. Like, it's way too, at least for me, I found it way too easy to skip past like the interactable bits.
Yeah, I found myself. It's also weird because there's bits in the environment that are doing the same like distortion-y thing that's supposed to like highlight the areas that you can remix, but are just like part of the environment and not something you can actually interact with. Which I just thought, what I think they should have done is have it like rumble as you fast forwarded past a bit. But
yeah, that fact, because like the first time I did it, like I went through it and I think I only did one. I think I only did like one bit.
Yeah.
And then I like let it play out, and the setup for that scene is really good. And then I was like, oh, okay, I didn't actually do it, and it took me like 3 or 4 more tries to find them all, and it's like, oh, like, you know, one more time, this would maybe I was trying to get through it too fast, but you know, that thing once or twice, cool. Like, the idea of doing that for every single one of these doesn't, like, and the combat's not good enough to keep me going. Not feeling this.
That's pretty much exactly how I felt about it. Like, the thing I would have liked them to do with the memory remix stuff is to like give you a better impression of like what doing certain things would actually do. It was like, like, don't tell you like the full extent, but just give you an idea. Like, when you like unhook the guy's mask, like, what's that actually gonna do? Is that gonna kill him, or is that just like, it's not really clear? Like, oh, if I move this tray, is that gonna like obstruct the doctor's like path, or, you know, it's a bit like, it's just like, do everything. Oh, well, that fucked up now, and just sort of process of elimination, like what was bad there. It's like, that is pretty much the reason I put it up for the most disappointing game. and now Game of the Year stuff, because it's like
it does have some cool shit in there.
Going in, I had no expectations, but like the first like 10-20 minutes, I was like, oh, this has like a really interesting setting, like some interesting mechanics going on. It just doesn't capitalize on any of that stuff.
It has like you can. It's easy. I think I found it easy to like look at that game and think, yeah, I know what you're kind of doing, and if you'd have done it, just a little bit better.
Yeah,
if
totally.
This would be really fucking cool. Like, this would be really cool if you actually, because like the opening to that game I thought was really strong. I think it had a very good opening, and usually I hate it. It's sort of become the norm, at least in a lot of the games I've played recently, where like the opening, they seem to like make you want to be able to do as little as possible. That seems to be a very common thing at the moment.
Yeah,
it's like it seems to be in the like effect of immersion in that, and for me it ultimately just kills it, because all I'm aware of is that you're not letting me do anything. Like
it's just very restrictive. Yeah,
like I hated that about Arkham City. Like thinking about Batman just reminded me of that. Like I really hate the beginning of that game because it's like, oh, you're in handcuffs, you can't do anything, blah blah blah. It's like, no, I'm Batman. I want to beat the shit out of people. Like,
I want to have some crazy gadget that just breaks the handcuffs.
I don't want to be able to not do anything as Batman. Like that is dumb. But like in this game, I thought they pulled it off quite well because they set it up well and they did it well. Like I wasn't kind of walking through that facility thinking like, man, I want to just I want to do something else. It's like, no, actually, I'm kind of intrigued. Like you've actually intrigued me here. This is interesting. It's just a shame they don't kind of keep it going throughout.
What did you think of like the combat stuff, like the building, the combos?
I thought that stuff was really, really interesting. That is right up my street. I fucking love breaking down combat systems, and that is a really interesting idea. That's the main reason that makes me want to go back to the game, because I'm really hoping you finished it, right?
No, I played maybe 3 hours or so.
I really hope that kind of builds out, because the idea of being able to like add custom buffers to your combos and like rework your combos, like that is really, really original. I've not seen anything like that before. And I've seen a lot of systems like that, but that stuff sounded really, really cool. Early on in the game, you don't really get a lot of stuff to use it for. Like the first one I had was like if you do like the 4-hit string, you get like a health boost, which seemed really broken because it's pretty easy to do that 4-hit string and get your health back. But over time, maybe they'll introduce like more enemies or more things to the combat that makes it not so bad in terms of balance. But like it's definitely interesting, and that is the thing that makes me want to carry on playing that game. I want to see how that combat stuff develops, because it doesn't handle as great as I'd like it to, but you can definitely see what they're going for, and it's pretty cool. But I just feel the rest of the game is going to stop me from going further with it.
Yeah. I mean, it feels a bit harsh, but I'd almost like to see those systems in a better game. Like it's got it does have a lot of potential, a lot of interesting stuff going on. It's just like that the combat the combo building stuff does get pretty cool, like as far as I got in the game. Like I think the buffers or the buff things I was getting were like you build up some meter thing that you can have a buff that builds that up quicker, and I think there's a damage modifier as well.
Damage one would be nice.
And then there's a one that there's a one that's like a chain. So like say you had like 2 damages and then you put the chain on it, like it's some sort of multiplier. So if you hit all 3, then it chains everything that's just happened prior to that. So you can get pretty in depth, but it's just a shame like the combat itself doesn't sort of live up to the promise of.
I can't help but think like if it handled like Batman, but like had that system, that'd be fucking awesome. That would be sick. Like that's the only complaint I have for like Batman's combat system, is it's just too simple. Like there's nothing to it. It's too easy. Like that's one of the main things that got me interested in Arkham Origins when I couldn't fucking play it. But like some chatter on forums that like they had kind of made an effort to make it a bit more challenging, like the combat stuff in the game. I haven't really seen anything about that, but that definitely makes me want to try that out.
Yeah, I think the thing about Remember Me and the combo building stuff is that it stops the combat from being like reactive like it is in Batman. Like you're reacting to what the enemy's doing, like you're countering and stuff.
Yeah.
And like in Remember Me, like you're actively like, okay, I need to build health back, so I'll do this combo.
Yeah, it's
I need to do more damage, so I'll do this. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, that is a really good way of describing it. Like, Batman's system is very reactive and not in the best way. Like,
Yeah.
it's, there are other games that have what you would call a reactive like combat system, but there's far more to them to make it.
Yeah.
Like in Batman, you're simply looking for the counter or an enemy that you can't counter, in which case you need to dodge. That's it. Like that's
Yeah.
the only guessing game there, and you have like 2 years to counter an enemy in that game. So you have 2 years to dodge out of the way of an enemy in that game. So it's not, you don't feel tense playing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I played past couple of weeks. Played
Cool.
a fair bit. Probably going to stick pretty close with Gravity Rush and Tearaway, I think, on the Vita. I'm digging those games. Really am.
Awesome. Good to hear. Johnny, what have you been doing?
Man, I played a bunch of stuff. Let's see. I played probably about 30 hours of Crusader Kings 2.
Yeah, you did. I
I
didn't actually know you played that. That's really cool.
Yeah. I had a weird
It's
like
really good.
I had a weird experience buying that game.
Why?
So it was on the Steam sale for like 30 quid. 15 quid, which is like half price. And I was like, that's slightly too high for like a just on a whim sort of let's just buy this and see what it's like.
Yeah.
So then I realized I had a demo, so I was like, oh well, I'll just have a go with this, see if it's any good. And I ended up playing the demo for like 7 hours or something. I was like, yeah, hell yeah.
You played the demo. For
Yeah,
7
I know. It's like that demo is like crazy.
How long is the demo?
I'm not sure if it's got a set timer on it. It's
Oh, is it
it's
just
crazy.
like, is it a segment of the game and like play?
Like it only lets you play as like 5 different characters.
Oh, right.
Out of like a potential of like, I don't know, there's this crazy amount of characters you can play as at the start of that game.
We might already have the answer for this for John at least. What's the most time you guys have spent with a demo?
Yeah, that's definitely
Is that?
up there.
I was going to say,
Yeah,
like, is that definitely
that's
yours?
it. That's yeah.
I think I put over an hour into the Stanley Parable demo.
All right.
Yeah.
That was pretty.
Yeah, so played that, and then I was like, well, yeah, I'm going to buy this.
It's a pretty good selling point.
Yeah.
Some
but-
games these days don't last 7 hours.
Yeah. So for some reason, I didn't buy it. Like, I didn't like quit the demo and just go to Steam and buy it. I was like, oh, I'll just buy it the next day. So I went back on Steam, and the price had gone back up to full price to 30 quid, and then I was like, oh man, well that sucks. I'm probably not going to play this. So I don't know. I did something, and then like 7 hours later, I went back on Steam, and then an item in my inventory popped up, and it was 50% off Crusader Kings 2.
Did it say
and-
like this is because you played so much of the demo?
no,
you crazy
I don't know.
person.
I'm scared. Like I think Steam are watching me. Like
Yeah.
They're definitely watching you. They're
That
watching
is-
everybody, man.
yeah,
Shit.
so that was really weird. So yeah, obviously I ended up actually buying it.
I gotta admit, I'm like really ignorant on Crusader Kings. What is Crusader Kings?
It is a grand.
I'm just gonna say I talked for about 20 minutes on this.
Yeah.
about Crusader Kings.
It's a
on
grand
multiple
strategy
weeks.
game.
Did you? I must have really zoned out to that. Sorry.
I became the King of Ireland. Do you remember? And then
No.
I had my friend on Giant Bomb who talked about his friend becoming the anti-pope and being gay and then drinking poison
Okay,
at a wedding or
in my
something.
defense, like I think it's fine to lose the title of the game when you're talking about that kind of stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll let John tell us.
So yeah, it's a big grand strategy game in sort of the style of Civ, I guess, but way crazier.
Much more
Um,
political.
Yeah, and the combat's different. There's not really any win conditions as far as I can tell. I think it's just play until you don't have any heirs to your throne.
Yeah, if the only fail condition is not having enough heirs or reaching
Yeah.
the year 19 something, I think.
It can't be the 19s. That's crazy.
All right, maybe 18 something. I can't
No,
remember
I
the.
think it's like the 13s.
All right.
It starts in 1066.
Oh yeah, you're right. I can't remember. Let me
It's all like I don't think it gets to the invention of gunpowder or anything, as far as I can tell. Because that might change the combat a bit, but yeah. So I've played a bunch of different games with that, just trying to get used to the mechanics because it is a crazy game. The tutorial's not that great. It does teach you some stuff, but it's not like you can't just play the tutorial and be like, oh, okay, I know everything about Crusader Kings 2. Let's play. Let's have some fun. It is, I don't know, learn as you play, I guess.
Yeah, when I started it, the first thing Whittle told me was don't play the tutorial, go watch a Let's Play. Because you'll learn infinitely more.
Yeah, I would like to see some good Let's Plays of that. I imagine there are some probably out there. Yeah, so I think, first game I think I played as Austria. No, first game was Iceland. That was a bad idea. Icelanders don't play as Iceland.
I was going to play as, they're the island up in the top left, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that'd be pretty funny starting in the
that's what I thought. Yeah, I'm going to build the great Icelandic empire.
Yep.
No, like Iceland, Iceland is like Norway's bitch, pretty much.
Right.
just because of where they are, like you can't just like sail down to England or Ireland. That just doesn't work. You don't really have any claims on anywhere because you're just some Icelandic former Viking man. Like, yeah, I mean, there probably is some crazy person who made some ridiculous Icelandic empire, but like, yeah, in terms of military, they've got very little. And you've obviously got to get a fleet to go anywhere, and fleets cost like way more than armies. So that didn't last long. I think I went down to Scotland a bit, helped Norway out with some wars, and then I think I pissed off Norway, and then they just came and destroyed me. So that didn't go well.
Wow.
Then I played as Austria, which was like way more fun. They had like the king of Austria has a bunch of claims. Yeah, so I should probably state like you're not playing as a country, you're playing as like a character or a bloodline.
Yeah.
Is it? Well, it's not even a bloodline, is it? It's more just like it's weird.
Like,
it's hard to describe. It's like the heir line of a certain person.
So obviously, like a legal heir which can inherit lands from you.
So that doesn't necessarily have to be
basically.
it doesn't necessarily have to be a blood heir either. Like it can be, because you can change like the laws of succession. So it's like instead of like it being like your oldest son, it can be someone who's voted in, or it could be your youngest son if you want to do that for some reason.
Be a girl.
Yeah, you can change it so that women can hold the same sort of titles as men.
If you change it, people get really pissed, though.
Yeah, well, pretty much if you change anything, people get really pissed.
Yeah, people hate change. That's pretty much the moral of
everything
that game.
to stay the same.
So it's like the internet.
Yeah. So yeah, Austria was way more fun. Just because the king of Austria at the time has some claims. So you can go and expand. But then Venice decided to come and fuck with my shit, and Venice, despite being like a tiny little island, really, just off Italy, have like way more troops and money than me. So they just sort of stomped on me. And then I think, oh God, what happened? I killed my brother because he tried to revolt against me. And then like another kinsman, I think it was like a long lost cousin or something, killed me. So then he became the heir. So I played as the person who just killed me. And then like a bunch of the vassals just revolted, and I ended up with like no territory anymore. Yeah. So that's like how a lot of my games have ended. Is just my vassals just getting pissed off and then
your vassals are dicks.
Yeah.
Like, whenever you're being attacked, all your vassals will just be like, "Ha!
Yeah.
Surprise!" So what you always have to do is raise your levies immediately, so they have no troops to revolt with.
Yeah.
And then they can't fucking revolt against you, and you're like, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
I'd like to see you stop that.
Yeah. Try and keep them on side.
Or try and keep them happy, but that's too much effort, to be honest.
So yeah, then I played as Ireland, and
I
try
played
to
as
like,
Ireland, yeah.
or like played as, and I think it was Munster I played as, the King of Munster or whatever he is, the Duke, and try to like make Ireland one united kingdom, which
So close.
yeah, that I did. I think I took it. I think there's like 14 territories in Ireland. I think I took like 7.
Okay. I had all but one before, like the French fucked me or something. I
Oh,
can't
could you not
remember.
have just made the Kingdom of Ireland?
Oh yeah, no, I made the Kingdom of Ireland, but I didn't
Oh, right.
have technically all of Ireland.
Oh, okay.
I had some of Wales as well.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah, I got fucked because Harold of Norway called me into like the 1066 invasion. I was like, oh yeah, I'll go and help Harold. I'll change history. I'll kill William the Conqueror, and that went badly. And then
Yeah.
all the Irish people that had taken over were like, yeah, let's just we don't like being under your rule. Let's just kill you. Yeah, then tried playing as Scotland, and it went very similar. I tried to do a similar thing, like make Scotland one united kingdom, and then try and take over some other people. But yeah, that went badly also because a bunch of the territories in Scotland owned by a dude who was like one of Norway's vassals or something. So as soon as I fucked with him, Norway were like, nope, we're gonna come over and murder you. And then I stopped playing for a while because I just felt like I wasn't making any progress. Like I was making the same mistakes over and over again, like trying to expand like far too quickly, and like not really having my vassals be happy with me. Then I started the game the day before yesterday. It's Rostov, which is like sort of in Russia.
Okay.
And yes, and now I have the Kingdom of Rus, which is almost like Russia, but yeah. Well, like pretty much, I think all my vassals have like an opinion of like over 50 of me.
That's good.
Yeah. The only problem is like Bulgaria is crazy. Bulgaria is just constantly like just coming over and starting holy wars and shit. Like, because it's I think it's like it's part Sunni and part one of the like the pagan religions.
Right.
And Rostov's like Orthodox Christian. So they're just constantly just like, yeah, let's fuck it. Yeah, like that's the one disadvantage of Rostov is it's pretty much surrounded by pagans and Muslims. So it's just holy wars on like every side. It's like the furthest out Orthodox area. You're not really like surrounded by allies. But through careful like betrothals and marriages, I managed to get like a bunch of like I think like the Byzantine Empire is like one of my allies. So anytime.
Pretty handy.
Yeah, anytime anyone's fucking with me, I'm just like, hey, Mr. Byzantine man, like these guys are picking on me. Come and fight them.
Have you tried starting any campaigns as part of like the Byzantine Empire or like the Roman Empire?
No, I don't know. I've been trying to shy away from that because
I tried it once, quite early on when I was still quite new to the mechanics, and it was unplayable. Like I had
really
no idea because you don't get control of like the whole empire unless you. Well, I assume you might be able to pick the emperor, and in which case you probably get control over the whole empire. But you can pick to be any basically of the vassals of the empire. Yeah. So you have like control of your like sub-region within the empire, and then it's just super confusing as to like what your objective is because you basically don't have a lot of power when you're in that position.
Yeah.
Despite having the backing of the whole empire, it's just
I think the lowest you can be start as a duke, isn't it? So like you always have at least like one bit of territory, I think.
Yeah, because the minute like each area a duchy. I can't remember. Or does it depend which?
Yeah, it's a bit crazy. All that stuff like that stuff is hard to
words.
Like I'm not really 100% sure like what the difference between a county and a duchy is, because sometimes it seems like counties are like taken into account like multiple territories. Then sometimes counties are just one, and then you've got your bishoprics and city and mayors and
it's
crazy
game.
But if you're into Grand Stride, like I'm not even in it. Like I mean, I played a bit of Civ and enjoyed it, but like I'm not crazy into it, and I'm not really a micromanaging sort of person, which that game is pretty much. I mean, there's obviously some sort of macro stuff, but like it's a lot of like micromanaging, like making sure like your vassals are happy, moving your armies around and stuff, and yeah. I've also been playing it while listening to the Hardcore History podcast, which is if you like history stuff, you should listen to that because that podcast is really, really good. Yeah, so double dose of history stuff. It was pretty funny because I was playing as doing my Rostov campaign. I was listening to a series of episodes in the Hardcore History podcast about the like Genghis Khan and like the Mongol Empire, and like I think in like the 1200s, like the Mongols are supposed to come down and pretty much fuck Russia's shit up really badly, murder them. So that'll be interesting to see if like that happens, because like the game does like obviously you're changing history just by being there and doing stuff, but like it's still like, oh, now it's the Crusades, and now like here comes the rise of the assassins and stuff. Like it still tries to like throw in historical events. So I don't know if you've got that far, Brad. Like if you've seen Genghis Khan come and
No, not
do some stuff.
don't think so. No.
Yeah. I'm also like I sort of want to get some of that DLC because some of it seems
Yeah, I was just about to ask
pretty
if you had
interesting.
got a hold of any of that yet.
Because like that pretty much lets you play as any. Because I think you can only play as Orthodox and Catholics.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think the DLC opens up like the Muslim factions and pagans and stuff.
Yes.
And then I'm sure there's another one that like makes like the Aztecs or something a factor. Like that's like a fantastical thing because obviously the Aztecs never came to Europe, but it's like you can get raided by Aztecs, and then I think there's one for Vikings, but I'm not sure if that's right at all. But yeah, if you like history stuff, or I don't even know. I don't even know how it, because like I'm not really massively into history or grand strategy games. I just happen to really like Crusader Kings. I think it's just the sort of crazy like the stories like that game just creates, just based purely on its mechanics. Because obviously there's no like narrative. It's just like, oh, I was playing as this dude, and then like my brother decided to come and murder me, and then I played as him, and then some of the insane stuff happened. Like,
it's really cool.
Yeah,
you get really good stories out of that game.
That game is awesome. Also, another one on Brad's recommendation list, plays all of Antichamber.
Yeah. Did you like it?
Yeah. I really like that game. Not sure if I'm as crazy about it as you were, but still enjoyed my time with it.
How much digging did you do? Did you just like once you got to the end, was that it, or did you go back and get all of the portraits?
I don't think I got all the portraits, but I think I got every single room. Okay. I don't know. I must have
You think you filled out the map?
Yeah.
You can usually, I don't know if you noticed this, but when you get to the endings, like the fake endings where you can see the escape room.
Yeah.
If you look through the glass, you can see an outline of the map that shows where areas are that you haven't completed yet.
Yeah.
So if you filled out all of that shape, then you've seen every.
Yeah, I think I have. Yeah.
Did you get to the empty room that I talked about?
Yes.
Those are the hardest series of puzzles. Those like ones. So. Yeah, the hardest one is one that just requires really bitchin' timing. It's that one where there's like 2 doors you have to open, and then there's the bees that make the boxes disappear, and you have to like walk at the right pace to make the doors stay open, because one's fast and one's slow.
Yeah,
that bit is absolutely fucked. Like,
yeah,
so painful doing that.
The one it's got like the central column. And it's the little it's the balls again, and you got to walk in to try and like make a opening. That one's fucked. Yeah, like the puzzles involving like anything other than like brain power, like I didn't really, I don't know, I wasn't into those, and like I sort of felt that once I got like, I think it was the yellow gun, like you could almost just sort of break the game. Like I definitely did stuff that I wasn't supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like,
there were puzzles I definitely solved, and not the way they were meant to be solved.
yeah, definitely, yeah. Like it also felt like I could go into a lot of puzzles and just use the same solution, which isn't great. But like I think that the initial stuff like it is awesome when you just sort of like trying to understand the world and like the properties of all the stuff. I think is awesome. And
Good game.
that game is weird. That the ending is bizarre.
Yeah.
And like the weird like the sound design is just really weird as well. That it's like this completely like blank environment, but then with just weird like sounds from like the real world. I don't know. It's like it's a really weird contrast, but it's sort of awesome.
There are a few secret rooms as well hidden behind weird puzzles. Did you find the room with all the guns in it?
Yeah, the one where it's like it's got the pictures of like the designs for the guns. Yeah,
it gets very fourth wall-y.
You
find some of the secret rooms. And did you find the screenshot diary?
I think so.
You remember, it's a room where there's literally just from the start of this game being like a Quake engine mod or whatever it was, and then there's a picture like every week of development all the way around the room until the final game. That room is really cool as well.
Do you remember the room that was like Snake?
Like Snake?
Where you would be like running along blocks and like it would have like this, like Snake the phone game.
Yeah.
And it would like, oh man, it's weird. Yeah, there's like you'll be running along and like the blocks will like fall behind you, but it's sort of like the game Snake, but as if you were like the food essentially. And then like you drop down and then it just has a picture and it just says Snake or something on it. It's got a picture. Yeah, it's got a picture of like a weird game and it just says Snake. And like I thought that was some crazy puzzle where you had to try and like get all the blocks to get destroyed. Because they'll like respawn, but obviously the snake's getting bigger as it's eating more blocks. But I never could actually get it to work. And then like when I went back to the map, it's like a dead end. So I just thought, oh well, it's probably not an actual puzzle here. It's just this is a weird thing that's in this game for some reason.
Interesting.
That game is certainly interesting. Weird. I don't know. Yeah, like I don't know if I ever had that first moment, like you were saying, like I was never like, oh, now I get it. Because there's sort of like one moment in Fez where it's like almost the whole game like gets turned upside down, whereas I think in Antichamber it's a lot of like smaller things like as you like parse out what certain things do, because you could go through Fez, and I actually know someone who did this and not know that there was all this puzzle stuff, like all the the crazy stuff. Like I kept on like I didn't want to just say like you do know there is like a whole nother level to this game.
There's a language in this game.
Yeah. I was almost just gonna go like look at all the notes I wrote about this game. Like this is what this game is. But he was just like, oh, it's a cool platform. I was like, yeah, well, it's something completely different. But I never did. I never could find out.
Yeah, it's not hidden in Antichamber, but you do learn a lot. I think it teaches you better than Fez.
Fez is like, I mean, I think you actually gave me the sort of clue that unlocked that whole game is when you, the whole fox jumps over what's that called again?
The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog.
Like what's that actual like that phenomenon called though?
It uses every letter of the alphabet in one sentence.
Yeah, there's a word for it. Or a
I
phrase.
don't know what the word is.
Yeah, I think you saying the word and then me googling it and then like being like, oh, and then
It's a pangram. That's it.
Yeah, pangram. That's the one.
I wonder if there's any more out there. There's got to be, sure.
Oh yeah. There's it's just the most common one.
Yeah, I think like it's got to be probably one of the most concise ones as well. Like, there's not many words.
Well, has a pangram got to only be 26 letters, or can it?
Well, it depends on which language you're
yeah.
using, which alphabet. So the English one is 26. Well, it uses all 26 letters, but it isn't 26 letters. I think there are shorter ones.
Yeah. So I mean, I definitely did enjoy Antichamber. I was getting sort of weirded out towards the end. Like, it's funny how that game sort of builds an atmosphere without really. It's got like, you know, it's obviously got no writing in it really, other than like the little pictures. Just that weird black. I don't even know what it is. The smoke monster thing is that's creepy. I don't like that thing. Also, that game would be like an awesome horror game. Like if that game had horror elements in it, I think that game would be absolutely terrifying.
Maybe.
Yeah. God, let's see. I played and finished Guacamelee. That game is pretty awesome. Some really good boss battles. Pretty awesome music. I think the only downside to that game is it relies heavily on like, say, Borderlands 2 style humor of just what's on Reddit. Let's just put that in the game and that'll be funny. Which if like anyone tried to play that game in like 5 years and all that stuff's like completely irrelevant, it would just like none of the jokes would make any sense.
I'll talk about it in a bit. But I watched a bunch of AGDQ this week, and they had a Borderlands 2 co-op speedrun. But they Skyped in the writer for the game. And well, no one there seemed to be of the opinion that the writing in that game isn't that hot, so that didn't come up. But I haven't heard exactly glowing.
It's terrible.
Reports.
so terrible. It's like I don't like. It's so lazy to just be like, oh well, this thing's on the internet. Let's just literally copy that meme in, and that'll be the joke. It's like that's not even trying at all. And then like, and in in a couple of years, that stuff's just going to be completely irrelevant and not make any sense. Yeah, and Guacamelee totally does the exact same thing. Like it's got some like decent humor that it does itself, but it is sort of tainted by that like that memey sort of just let's not bother to write our own humor. It's a lot of characters like speaking quite like earnestly, like in like well spoken like English, or like you're fighting against these demons, so they're all crazy going on about hell and the underworld and stuff, and then like suddenly they'll just go like, oh cool story bro, or something like in the middle of the dialogue, and it's just like that's not very funny. It doesn't
really go.
I mean it's probably saved a bit by the fact that it doesn't actually have dialogue. It's all just like written stuff, because that would probably have made it way worse. So you can just like skip a lot of that stuff because like the story isn't really that important. It's weird actually, because the story actually has a sort of decent narrative, and I thought I had a pretty strong ending, but it just doesn't do enough with it, and it's sort of ruined by like the sort of jokey aspect of it, because it like relies far too much on the humor and doesn't really try to do anything dramatic or narratively worthwhile. But yeah, that game's cool. Like pretty, surprisingly decent combat for like a 2D side-scrolling thing. Like it's no Dust, but it's got similar stuff going on, and like
that's a pretty high bar to compare it to.
But like playing as a wrestler is cool. Like not in a wrestling game, but like doing wrestling moves on enemies, I think is awesome. But yeah,
I don't
that
know.
game.
Some of those wrestling games are fucking good, man.
Yeah, but like I don't know, like leaping into the air and doing some ridiculous like suplex on an enemy is cool, which you're not going to get out of the majority of. I know there were some
Yeah,
out
the
there
wrestling
WWE games,
were
but
fun. Were like
yeah,
definitely had that kind of feel to them.
yeah. Already mentioned Gravity Rush. That game's cool. And I sort of already mentioned Rayman Legends, but that game is also pretty cool on the Vita. I'm not sure, like I haven't played the console or PC version, so I don't know how different it is, but I'm pretty sure it is different in some fairly minor ways, I think. Like as far as I heard, like playing the stuff with the touch, but like on a console that doesn't have touch stuff was sort of not that great. So like I don't really feel like I'm missing out on that stuff playing on the Vita. Obviously you do have some touch based stuff, but I think it's pretty different to what's like on the Wii U, which is apparently like the best version of that game. God, what else? Sure, I played other stuff. I played a bit of State of Decay around Christmas time. That game is interesting but sort of janky. And I played a bit of a game called The Cat Lady, which oh boy, that game is
all right.
That game is weird.
Tell us more.
So you start out as a woman who is a cat lady in the traditional sense of the phrase cat lady. She's sort of crazy loner with a bunch of cats who are her only friends. And she decides, you know what? I'm bored of this. I am going to kill myself. So you take a bunch of some nondescript pills, and wake up in this weird place. You're not really sure what the hell's going on. Meet this crazy lady who basically says is not very specific about who she is, but it's like she's like the devil or like death or something. Like I think she flat out denies that she's death, but like there's an implication there that she's not of this world. And says like, hey, don't kill yourself. I'm going to give you another chance. I want you to go out and these 5 psychopath people are going to come to you and you're going to kill them. Like these murderous psychopath people. So could you please just go out and do that for me? Thank you very much.
What's this on? What platform is it?
On the PC. It's on
Steam now.
Yeah, it's on Good Old Games. I think I got it for like £5 on Good Old Games. No, sorry, $5. So like £3, whatever that is. So she's like, yeah, right, go out and murder these psychopath people. She's really creepy. It's got voice acting as well, which is nice because it's fairly like low budget game, just based on the visuals and stuff, and some of the music is a bit weird. In that it feels like someone was like, sick, I'm going to put my music in this game and like not actually consider like what sort of game this is. But yeah, like the voice acting is it. I want to say sort of Dark Souls-y in that everyone is super bummed out all the time. Especially like the main character, obviously, because she is suicidal. Yeah, so creepy old German lady tells you to go and go back to the real world, and tells you to go to this house that you'd seen earlier in this weird heaven, hell, limbo place, and press a button. So you go back to that place, put your arm in this slot where this button is supposed to be, and then your arm gets sliced off.
Well, yeah, that's never a good idea.
In one of like, they just completely like, I don't know, I was just blown away. I was like, what this? I did not know how to understand why my arm had just been chopped off. And then like you wake up in hospital with your arm still intact. And some nurse is like, oh, some person like pulled you out of a coma, or like pulled you out, like found you collapsed in your room and brought you to hospital after you'd taken all those pills. But the person claimed to be your daughter or something, and your character doesn't have a daughter. And And yeah, that's about as far as I got in that game. It is like the initial like 5 minutes is like some of the best like atmosphere setting in a game I've ever seen. Just like it's like really depressing. You really like sort of understand where this character is coming from and why she wants to kill herself in a weird way. But that game is bizarre. And I do want to play more of it, but it's just I think it's being in the right mood to play that game. Like it's not sort of like, oh, I'm gonna come home.
I'm gonna relax and play this game.
Play this game about killing yourself and murdering 5 horrific psychopaths and the devil and crazy shit. Yeah. If you like weird shit, maybe play the Cat Lady, because that certainly falls under that category. But yeah, that was it for the Christmas break and the period after. I really want to be playing Crusader Kings 2 now, because that game's awesome. That's the sort of game.
This podcast.
That's the sort of game that you think about like when you're not playing it a lot, or at least I found it to be like.
No, I had the same.
Like at work, like shit, right? I need to take over these fucking pagan guys. I need to start a holy war with those guys. I'm gonna kill this guy and put this guy in prison because he's trying to fuck with my shit. Yeah, that game's rad. Yeah, so that was it for me this week, or however long it's been.
Yep, awesome stuff. I guess that just leaves what I played this week, which admittedly isn't a lot. One thing I did remember whilst you guys were talking. I mean, we've already talked about Gunpoint, which I played on John's recommendation, just like Joe, and I played about an hour or so of that.
Yeah.
How long is that game?
Not long.
No, I didn't. I didn't get the impression that it was too long, and I don't think that's a terrible thing.
No.
It seems to, I've enjoyed it. I think it's really tight. I think it controls really well. I really like what it does. But when it started getting to like, the guys that can see in the dark and the guys I can't jump on and punch, I'm like, I just want to jump and punch on everyone. Really, I'd just happily play that game. It's just I just want a level that's a bunch of windows and then dudes that I can jump on and punch repeatedly.
Yeah,
because that's when I'm having most fun in that game.
Yeah. I think it does a good job of like doling out the upgrades to the point where I think you get like the last upgrade before the last mission. So it's like, you're not messing around like with like the same powers. Not as far as I know.
Okay, so if I want to do every mission, I can just click on them, and I'm not going to lose a mission because I take another mission.
Yeah, I think so, but I wouldn't, because obviously
You just played it, so
yeah,
it's fair enough. I probably wouldn't even notice if I lost a mission.
Yeah,
to be honest, but I would like to, see.
I think there's
it's
one.
Not something I'm likely to replay. I don't think.
Yeah. There's one ending as far there's one like final mission. Like the final mission, I think is always the same. It's like obviously the ending can be slightly different, but yeah.
I'm liking that.
The humor in that game is really good too, I thought.
Yeah, the writing's
the writing is really sharp.
Although the game is very self-aware.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah, but
when they introduce the guys that can see in the dark, it's like guys that wear black, just like in real life, are professionals.
Yeah.
And then the next thing it says is also they can see in the dark because why not?
Because why not? Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You can see where that game's coming from.
Yeah, the achievement that's like, I think it's like there's an achievement for like kicking a door into a dude once you get the kicking down doors power,
right.
And it's like, oh, it's called something witty, and then it's like, oh, you kicked a door into a guy, and then like the next door you come to, you kick it through a window, and it goes, why not have an achievement for that? It's like, yeah, the writing's really good. Yeah,
I thought the opening like kind of joke was really well done.
Yeah,
the like the very first kind of joke that you see after like the first level. Well, that was cool.
Yeah. What else did I play? I completed Grand Theft Auto 3 for the first time.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, it's the year 2000 again.
I went back in time.
Yeah, man. 8 megabytes is a big fucking deal. That's a lot of memory.
So, yeah, the reason I guess I never completed that game was because
Terrible person.
Vice City was the first 3D Grand Theft Auto game I played. I played 1 and 2, just sticked around in them, never completed them because, as we were talking before this podcast started, those games are hard.
Those games are fucking hard as shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Then again, like, that being said, GTA 3 and, I mean, I haven't played San Andreas, but like GTA 3 and Vice City are fucking hard if you don't use cheats.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
they are
sorry.
really hard. Like there are ways you can like kind of game it a bit, but like if you play those games kind of as they put themselves across to you, they are fucking hard. Granted, it's because the controls are kind of shit, but still.
And from speedrunning the shit out of Vice City, I can tell you the physics in those games, it's hot garbage.
Yeah. Like,
they're completely fucking random, and 9 times out of 10 they make no sense, and will just do things you have never seen before for no reason whatsoever.
Like doing a wheelie up a hill.
I'm going to send you guys a highlight in a minute of something I was live streaming. You know the mission where you kill Diaz in Vice City?
Yo, spoilers.
Fuck Diaz, dickheads everywhere, yo. The point is, the mission where you kill Diaz, you know Lance turns up and he's like, oh, I've got all these weapons, let's go kill Diaz.
Mm-hmm.
And he gives you weapons and he's like, I'll cover you, Tommy, as you start the mission. You run into the mission, you kill dudes on the way into Diaz's mansion, go up there and shoot Diaz. So when that mission starts, fucking, like, a whole squad of Diaz's guards spawned on top of Lance and then immediately murdered him. Like, before I could do anything. I couldn't even, like, click. I was just like, what? And I did, yeah. So that's the kind of shit GTA does, because it hates you. So, but the point is, back to GTA 3, more importantly. The reason I never completed that game back when I first played it was I got Vice City before I got GTA 3. I got Vice City on PC reasonably around the time it came out, I think. I'm not too sure. Played a shit ton of that, then eventually ended up getting an Xbox and getting the sort of double pack that came with both GTA 3 and GTA Vice City, which is a really cool little bundle. And that was the first time I played GTA 3, and it was after I'd already played, a shit ton of Vice City. And I was already far more in favor of Vice City's, world and sort of the atmosphere and stuff like that. I just thought it was cooler. I found GTA 3 a bit dull, just being, like an industrial city. Didn't really get into it, and then kind of dicked around in the tank for a bit, and that was about it. Played with some cheats and stuff, never really completed it. So yeah.
Where you shoot the tank like behind you when you're driving.
Oh yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, that shit's good.
Tank
is officially the fastest vehicle in
that is fucking
games,
awesome.
which is hilarious.
If you go on like the bridge, like the main bridge between the second and first island,
yeah,
like that is fucking awesome. That is one of the best things to do in that game with cheats. That's so much fun.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'd never actually completed GTA 3. I got really close to completing Vice City when I was younger, but I didn't quite because I didn't realize you had to complete the asset missions to be able to get to the end of the game. So I was like, why have I not got any missions? I give up. So yeah, last week sometime, a few of us from Speedruns Live on the GTA channel, IRC channel that I go on, decided to do a blind Vice City race, a blind GTA 3 race, sorry. Because there were 3 of us that had never played it before. And so we tried to speedrun from like what little we had seen of like live streams of speedruns and memorize the strategies and the route, that game, having never attempted it before, which was really dumb. And on top of that, 3 people who had completed the game before joined our race, which was kind of unfair.
Yeah, that's kind of a dick move.
One of them was the world record holder who set a new world record today. And the world record holder played with one hand and beat my time by a solid hour. Playing with one hand.
He's the world record holder. I think that's okay.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm cool with that. That's pretty awesome, actually, that he did that with one hand. But yeah, I think it was actually really amazing because all the people who were racing blind finished within 4 minutes of each other. It was super tight.
Yeah.
Right near the end. I just eked out about a minute in front of one dude to beat the other 2, which was cool. And in the end, it took me 2 hours and 54 minutes to complete it.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. That's like an hour per island.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was all right, actually. I was quite pleased with that. Because some of the missions I had no idea what I was doing, and like at one point I went, at one point I went and did the entirely wrong mission that isn't even part of the speed run. Like, it's not even a main story mission. And then I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to fail this mission because I'm not meant to be doing it. It's called Gone Fishing, I think.
Oh yeah.
The name of the mission. Yeah. So it's like you're on the middle island, which is Staunton, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're on Staunton, and then it's like, oh, go all the way back to Portland, go get this boat. I was like, fuck, I've taken the wrong mission. I can't do it. I'd have to kill myself, which would mean I'd lose all my weapons. I don't want to do that. So I'm like, great, I'll drive all the way back to Portland, and then I'll blow up this fucking boat, and then the mission will fail because I've blown up the boat, right? So I drive all the way back there, which takes ages. I shoot the boat, it explodes, and nothing happens. I'm just like, no way. Because at that point, there was no way for me to fail the mission other than dying. So I was like, I'll have to reload my save. At which point I realized the last save I made was before the most random mission in the entire game, Evidence Dash. You know, one where you rear end that car until you fall out of it whilst the police destroy you. Yeah. So I had to redo that mission, which is like the mission that's most likely to kill a GTA 3 run. And I had to do it twice before I managed to beat the game.
The mission where you kill Salvatore is pretty fucking random too.
There's a pretty consistent way of doing that. It's actually quite.
What
quite
did you use for that?
So what you do is
I always just used to block up the entrance to the nightclub and just throw a grenade down there.
That's the really old speedrun strategy.
That wasn't really a speedrun thing. That was just like the only way I found to do it.
Yeah. It's funny, they did actually use that. I think on SDA the run still has that in it.
That is a really consistent way to do that mission. But like until you know about that mission is fucking bullshit. Like if he gets in his car, like again without cheats obviously, but like if he gets in his car, you're pretty much fucked. Like.
So in my run, I failed the way you're meant to do it because I took too long to drive to the club. So I actually managed to get out of my car, and as he was running out the alleyway, snipe him with the M16 or whatever it was, and I one-shot him
an M16
before he got in the car. Yeah, you can pick it up on Staunton.
Man, my GTA 3 shit is rusty.
Yeah, there's a spawn for it. But the reason I was late to the club was because I went to go get that gun, not realizing I didn't have enough time.
Ah, right. Okay.
And then went there, and I was like, oh shit, I don't have. So the way the speedrunners do it is, you drive. You know how when you get near the club, it's like if you go too near, you'll be spotted by the mafia. So you just drive your car into the back car park of the club, park it next to the wall, get out, and stand facing the back door of the club, and then 8 dudes come out of the back door, and you just shoot them all with the AK with one, without even having to reload, and they all die. You go get back in your car, and then Salvatore spawns in the little alleyway, and you just run him over, and just dies. It's actually really easy. It's not hard at all, actually, in the end. So, but yeah, I've never completed that game before, so I'm glad to say I've now completed Grand Theft Auto 3 at least once. And I'm considering trying to learn the route to speedrun it. I kind of know the first half of the game reasonably okay now. There's some stuff in the second half that's really hard, like Wakashira Wipeout.
Yeah, that is a tough mission.
There's a way you can do it where you RPG the underside of the car park, like you shoot the floor of the level of the car park below, and it blows up all the cars on the ceiling, and hopefully blows up the dude that you're trying to kill.
Yeah.
That's kind of hard to do because you have to be in a really specific spot. And also, Grand Theft Aero, I believe.
Yeah.
Is that the one where you have to drive with 5 stars across the bridge that goes up and down?
Yep.
Yeah. So that mission, I died in my run, which was really sad because I was right outside the building lot when I died. I just couldn't get through the fucking fence. I was like, get through the fence! And then I got out of the car, was sprinting with 5 stars and 1 hit point for ages, running all the way down the side. There was a police car behind me, and it was driving really slowly, not quite running me over, but just about to run me over. And then out of nowhere, a police car appears in front of me, and a dude jumps out and just blats me one after missing 5 times.
One of the best things in that game is thinking about it. You know when sometimes you get run over, but I'm not sure if it's intentional or if it's the physics not working. It's probably the physics not working, but you get run over, and instead of actually getting run over, you kind of attach yourself to the car.
Yeah.
And you can see your health just draining down. It's damn it. Damn it!
I lost a
damn it,
speed
damn
run
it, damn it, damn it.
in Vice City to that.
It looks so fucking funny though.
Yeah, you like get hit and it keeps pushing you forwards a tiny bit, then running you over again, then pushing you forwards and running you over again. And I ran in front of a taxi once to try and stop it, and then it killed me like that. And
Yeah, I think that's happened to everybody at least once. You're like, I'm going to run in front of this car to stop it. Bang! Oh
Yeah.
shit! Son of a
Yeah.
bitch.
There's a really good highlight of iGod losing a world record pace run. Because he ran, he didn't even run in front of the car. He just turned around and a fucking blue line runner hit him, and then did that glitch where it just insta kills you. He just lost the run instantly.
John,
Amazing.
you need to start speedrunning something, John.
Yeah, man.
Because
Somebody
sooner or later,
position
Brad's
speed
gonna have
runs.
a record in GTA, and then like all three of us can
That's
have
not
one.
gonna happen.
It'll happen.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know if I've got the time to learn a game.
It's a speed run. You don't need a lot of time. That's the whole point.
Be faster. Jesus. Fuck's sake, John. Yeah, so GTA 3 is alright, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I've played that game relatively recently, and it, like, I still love it for what it is, and like that was a very like when I was at school, that was a very kind of zeitgeist-esque game, I guess you could say. Like fucking everybody was playing that. Like it was,
Mhm.
and that was in the days like before everybody had the internet and shit, and you know that was like that aspect of it was cool. But there's a lot of stuff about the old GTA's that just doesn't hold up.
Yeah.
Like, and even at the time, like I even at the time, I felt that stuff was kind of like, you know, washed over a little too easily. Like those games were like far and away considered like the best thing gaming could offer, and it's like, really? Like they're kind of fucking broken in a lot of ways. Like not even, you know, even for the time, it's like there's a lot of shit in these games that just doesn't fucking work properly, and yet they were like just ridiculous. Like nothing could beat GTA at that point.
So yeah, also on the topic of speedruns, I guess the only other thing I did over the last week was watch a shit ton of awesome games done quick 2014. I don't suppose either of you two watched any of that.
No.
We have jobs, man. Oh man, I miss I miss that shit though. To be honest, I miss being able to watch shit like that. It really sucks. It's just,
It was really good, guys.
yeah, like because it was like 6 days, wasn't it?
It was like a solid.
Yeah, it was like
It was
6
160
days.
hours and
Yeah.
50 minutes of non-stop speedruns, which is really cool. Loads of people apparently know loads of games really well and can do loads of cool glitches. And oh man, one dude did a Super Mario 64 one-handed 0-star speedrun. That was pretty intense.
All that
And,
shit's
like-
archived though, isn't it? So
Oh yeah, you can watch that anytime you like. It's they're going to at some point later in the year put it on YouTube.
yeah, I think a lot of the
Quality.
fun of any stream though is watching it live. It's
Yeah.
like having the archives is awesome, but like it is way better to watch it live. Like there's no substitute for that.
That's pretty remarkable. They reached over 100,000 concurrent viewers at one point, which is pretty ridiculous. And on top of that, last AGDQ they raised about $480,000, I think it was, for Prevent Cancer Foundation.
Yeah.
This time they raised over $1 million, so
Yeah, they hit 1 million, didn't they?
that's pretty cray.
It's
The next
awesome,
one
like how games seem to be just a great avenue for that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. I'm surprised that didn't get more media coverage, to be honest.
Yeah,
That deserves more recognition,
yeah,
in
it
my
does.
opinion.
It really does.
That was a
I
super
mean,
impressive
I'm
event.
trying to think of like other charity stuff or other charity events that are like kind of, I don't know what the word would be, like independently run, but like, you know, there's not really like there's not like a big corporation behind it or something, or
No.
you know.
I mean,
bring-
like Extra Life is like the big other
yeah,
charity thing, I guess, with games.
like that amount of money in like 6 days is like to watch a bunch of dudes speed run games is pretty fucking cool. That's pretty
good.
awesome.
Additionally, in the Chrono Trigger run, Robo was named Ryan D, which was pretty cool. That donation incentive was met, which was neat. Yeah, so I really recommend going and searching out some of the VODs. There's like a Reddit thread that has a link to all of the Twitch archives, which
Yeah, I saw that one. I
are
checked
there for
out
the
the like NES runs in Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2.
and
They're really good 'cause they're like 20 minutes.
even if you don't want to watch all of it, there is obviously plenty of runs there for you to pick and choose. Cool. So I guess that covers everything we did over the last 2 weeks pretty well. So I guess we should talk about some news. What have we got?
There isn't any. Probably.
Not much.
We had a couple of things as far as I remember.
Didn't the PS4 hit like 4 million or something?
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah,
That's pretty
PS4's sold
good.
a fair few. Yeah, that's off
That's
to a
been
good
out
start.
for like what, 2 months now?
2 months. Yeah.
Or not even 2 months yet.
Yeah, it's like that's
That's pretty good.
I guess staying on PlayStation Sony news. At CES they announced their cloud gaming thing.
Yep.
Which was like the whole God, what was that company called that they
Gaikai.
acquired? Yeah. So that's called PlayStation Now.
PlayStation Now.
Yeah, not really that many details on it at the minute. It's a beta this month actually in the US.
The only details I've seen is the games will be streaming at 720p, and not that matters because everything's upscaled on PS3 anyway. And I can't remember what the other things were they said about it.
I guess one of the big things is there's not really been any word on whether it's going to be rolled into PlayStation Plus.
It won't. I am 100% certain it will not be like included in PlayStation Plus. You might get like some access, like you know, the free games.
I think there'd be like a
PS Plus.
higher tier of PlayStation Plus, or
It could be entirely separate. I mean, because they're planning to let it stream to tablets and mobile devices, not just Sony devices. So they're trying to make it as widely available as possible.
yeah. Oh yeah, because there's this stuff with like playing it on a TV, wasn't there? Like admittedly, like it was a Sony TV, a Bravia, but it was like without a console. Like,
Yeah. The plan is they're going to try and get this everywhere, really, as far as I can tell.
which is sort of weird. Like you just released a console and then you're like saying, but you don't need a console. You can like
Yeah. Kind
That's,
of cool though. In a
yeah.
way. Like, they're doing that. Like,
I mean, I assume you will have to own a play. Well, would you?
No, I think this is
you
going to
could-
be
yeah,
like
you
an
could
app
just
or
have
something where you just pay a subscription to it to get access to
You
stuff.
have to have like
think-
a controller though, obviously, or
I think they've
something.
also
yeah,
said
like
there's
if
a
it's
way.
only like DualShock 4 compatible, then I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they said there's going to be a way to like rent individual games as well, rather than paying for like a feature-wide access.
well, with like the official death of Blockbuster, that's pretty good. Like,
Yeah,
I
I,
mean,
don't know. This
like-
could be something I could get into because there are definitely PS3 games I would have liked to check out. But this would save me at least
Like-
buying a PS3, maybe.
I mean, like,
guess,
is,
yeah.
is it going to be like like on live where it's like running off PCs that are potentially like better than the PS4? Because that would be weird. like
I
the
don't
whole
know
thing with
how
the
they're
whole thing
doing
with
it,
on
really.
live was like I mean it didn't never really delivered on its promise, but the promise was like run like high-end PC games on anything, like on a laptop or
Yeah.
just on your TV.
the idea of that is amazing. And
Yeah,
like
it's
in a
just-
perfect
I think
world,
it's just the practicality of
Yeah.
it is
Well, yeah, I don't know, but they definitely want it to run on tablets and possibly even phones. So
yeah.
do you,
like-
I'm like really out of touch with tablets and shit. Do Sony have a tablet?
No,
I don't think they do they?
they have like
they have big phones.
they have laptops that bend over and shit.
Yeah, I have a
But
big Sony phone, but I don't think
Yeah,
they are.
they don't have like a strictly tablet.
I'm fairly sure they don't have tablet.
No, they
Yeah.
do. They have Xperia tablets. Yeah, 10.1
okay.
inch tablets with ARM processors, I believe, that usually run some variant of Android.
Yeah, I mean the Sony phones are Android, so
Yeah, I'd have to imagine they're running some sort. Yeah, they're running Android.
yeah. I mean I can't imagine them running Windows or anything. But yeah, so yeah, that's actually happening, which is cool. I mean, like the main thing for me really would be the backwards compatibility stuff, but it would be nice to just have like access to like, I mean, probably not the entire history of PlayStation like available, but some amount of that would be cool. And that does a lot for like the whole concern about the archiving of games, I think. Where people are like, in 20 years or something, you're just literally not going to be able to play certain games. Like, if they commit to this and this stuff works, then that is a giant leap forward in that sort of stuff. Even if there's not physical copies of certain games, like there's at least going to be some way of playing them and some digital version of them, which is awesome. And there are a bunch of PS2, PS1, even PS3 games that I just never got around to, which would be awesome to just be able to play them. Yeah.
In other news, SimCity is getting an offline mode added.
Finally, yay!
I don't know why.
Was this even like? It seems like this isn't even like I don't really know much about SimCity, but this doesn't seem like the complaint that a lot of people had about that game. Like,
I think it was definitely one of them.
I thought like the main thing was like the city size. I thought, but I could be wrong.
Yes. Yeah.
So like an offline mode isn't. I don't know. People on something. Oh, like SimCity, yeah, it's fantastic now. It's got offline. It's like that's not really. Wouldn't that game like almost be like, well, not unplayable, but like a significantly worse experience without the online? Because isn't that a lot of like how you do a lot of the stuff in that game?
Well, it was unplayable for
Like,
I mean, well, no exaggeration. I mean,
yeah,
it was.
Yeah, I'm not sure how a lot of SimCity works. It's not very clear in the game as to how or why it works. Like, I presume in this new single-player mode that they're talking about, you'll still be able to transfer resources between your cities. That stuff, I know for a fact, used to go through the online, because when they were having server issues, that shit just didn't work. And it's a relatively simple feature, but I think the reason it didn't work was because, if you had multiple people in the same region, it would have to go through some sort of server authentication to check you weren't just like, I don't know, duplicating resources or just fucking with something when you're sending, power from one city to another or sending money from one city to another. So they're obviously going to make that part of it offline. But there's also other stuff like the global market, in quote marks, which is sort of just an infinite resource where you can buy things like coal and oil from for your power stations when, for example, your city runs out. So like if you were mining coal and then you have no coal left for your power station, you could, if you didn't have anyone else in the region who was able to provide you with coal, you were able to buy it for a fixed price from the global market. I think that price was averaged based on the amount of like how much coal was being mined by active players on SimCity at that current time. I presume in this offline mode that would be gone. So if you run out of coal, I guess, for example, I guess you're just fucked. So yeah, not too sure.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they could put the global market in, but just have sort of, well, not random price fluctuations, but have some sort of weirdly logarithm formula-driven market or something, just to make that stuff not like exploitable or crazy. Yeah.
One thing that's interesting is apparently offline mode means they're gonna. Well, I'm not gonna say they're gonna support modders, but apparently they're not against people modding the game now that there's an offline mode for some reason.
Yeah.
Which is good.
So the first mod is going to be like unrestricted borders.
Penis mode. I don't know.
Yeah, penis mode. Every building is a penis.
Yeah. Alright, I'm back in SimCity. That's all you ever had to do.
What's the other thing that's happening? There's something else.
I changed my username.
Yes, that is the most important news of the week.
I think you really need to change your avatar to a picture of a bollard now.
I was thinking of just going in Microsoft Paint and drawing one and just like it just being a black rectangle with
idea,
three
actually.
white lines through it.
Yes, definitely. That should be your avatar now.
I don't know. I like my frog though. We'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll MS Paint something up.
So in actual news,
what are you talking about?
It's fucking, avatars are fucking like. It also, how often have you guys? Although actually, John, you change your avatar like every fucking week.
Bullshit.
Seriously,
I change it more often than you guys. 'Cause
I've
you
never
changed it.
I've never changed my avatar, like, pretty much. Like, it's always been, like, you know that picture of Ryu? Like, it's pretty much that on every forum. Ironically enough, except the Ninja Gaiden forum I'm on. On that one, it's a picture of the Nemesis from Resident Evil. But, like, on every other forum, it's that. Like, I always have that picture of Ryu.
I'm a frog.
Because Ryu looks fucking
Like, I just get bored and change mine. Like like the other forum that I frequent, like I change it like monthly.
Yeah, but don't you want people to be able to recognize your?
I think that's
well, like the other forum I post on, I'm like in probably the top 10 or so posters, so people recognize me, man.
Recognize your username.
Yeah.
I hear that. I hear that.
Anyway,
when you post in a thread, it's like, fuck, that guy posted in this thread. This thread's now important.
So was there another news?
It was the Silicon Knights Epic Games lawsuit is looking like it's over. I'm gonna have to go now, so I'll just leave you to work out what's going. Basically, Epic Games and Silicon were in a big legal battle where Silicon Knights decided, hey, we're going to sue Epic. Then Epic countersued them and won. And now it looks like Silicon is completely fucked because they had to I think it was last year they had to take a bunch of like 2 Human and X-Men Destiny copies off shelves and then destroy them, which cost them a lot of money.
Damn it! That's like another decade of like Eternal Darkness 2 hope just like dead.
Well, there's that Kickstarter thing.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah.
That being said, like Eternal Darkness 2, like I don't know. The first one worked because
I've never. I should probably play that first one, but
I mean, if you like kind of, you know, I hate to use the word old school, but if you like, you know, like that kind of era survival horror, you'll definitely get that from it. But
yeah,
a large part of what made that game so awesome just wouldn't work in this day and age. Like a lot of the tricks it does, you just be like, what? Well, this doesn't like. Technology was at a certain point then to make a lot of that shit work, and now it just wouldn't work at all. So.
Right, okay. I've actually got to go. So have fun with the very little that is left with
Thanks,
today's
John.
episode.
Fucking scumbag.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
Okay. The pause. This isn't going to fuck up the call. No. Okay.
We still recording?
That's good shit. Yeah, we're good. We're cooking.
Talking about, I was meant to, before we started recording, I was meant to talk about switching off of Skype, which we should totally do at some point.
Try. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. Try that shit.
I've got a few ideas, so we'll talk about that once this podcast is well and truly over, but it's not quite yet. In dumb news stories of the week, here's one I just found on GameSpot. How much will Oculus Rift games cost? The same as every other fucking game.
Yeah, that's not...
Moving on.
Yeah. More importantly, how much will the Oculus Rift cost?
Exactly. Have you seen the new prototype?
No, I haven't.
The newest prototype has like IR lights all over it, and a camera, so that it can now do positional tracking. So if you lean forwards or backwards, you can, you know, lean in games, which is amazing because one of the reasons it was so goddamn sickening using the dev kit was because if you were to move your head left or right or something and the world doesn't move around you, you want to vomit everywhere, which is not cool.
I'm really hoping that takes off.
Yeah, it would be cool.
I really think it'd be cool. But
let's say nail that thing so it's comfortable.
And like actually good to look at as well. That'd be nice.
Yeah, the screen needs some work. I don't think there's too much else we need to say this week. We didn't have any emails. We don't have any tweets. We don't have any news. So unless there's anything else you wanted to chat about, Joe, I think we're pretty much done.
Not really.
Cool. In that case, you can email us, themightyelectronicbox@gmail.com, or tweet at us at TMEBpodcast. And thanks for listening. Say goodbye, Joe.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.